Today I'm planning on doing the brakes, or the front brakes anyways, on the 2013 Focus, so if you're interested, stick around. Alright, in order to do this, I'm not going to show you how to take the wheel off, but you take the wheel off and then you can get to the brake rotor, caliper, and the caliper bracket, which is right here. In order to do this, you take the tire off, make sure you have it on jack stands, and I have the back tire, what you call that, chalked. So then the next step is there's little caps on the back of the caliper bolts. You need to remove those. Those are right there, and they keep the dirt and grime and all that bad stuff from getting into those bolts. So you do that, and then you need a number 7 Allen head key. I thought I had some sockets with those, but I can't find them right now. You're going to need that. You're going to need an 18 millimeter to take these caliper bracket bolts off, and you're going to need some zip ties to suspend the caliper itself, so that you don't pull or put any undue tension on your brake line. So those are the key parts. So I'm going to set this up and try and find the right size Allen head, and then I will turn you back on so you can watch me taking that part off, and we'll go from there. The other thing you're going to need is a big C-clamp, and I always like to open up the master cylinder, so when you displace the fluids, it goes back up in the master cylinder when you compress the piston on the caliper, and the fluid's got to have some place to go. So anyways, I'll show you that part too. So here we go. One of the first things you have to do is take this clip off. This is the clip that retains the pads in there. So when you take it off, keep a hold of it, because you're going to need it to put it all back together. I just use a screwdriver and I pry it up out of there, and there you go. That's all it takes to get that off of there. Alright, I found the correct Allen key, so now I am going to set up my my handy dandy tripod so you can watch me take this off, but give me a second. Here we go. Trying to put a little muscle on it with another wrench, and there you go. So hopefully you saw that I broke it loose with using another wrench. So there's a top bolt, and then there's a bottom one, and there we go. The bottom one needs to go. Okay. Get it started in there. That time I didn't need to use any extra force. So once you have them broke loose, I like to take them all the way out so they're out of the way. Plus you can clean them and lube them up before you put them back in. The car has 95,000 miles on it, and right now it looks like these are the original brakes. So it was definitely time to do them before something bad happened. So there we go. So I'm going to turn you off so you don't have to watch me struggling with this. Turn it. There we go. So there's one of these on the top and one on the bottom, and as you can see, they just comes right out. I don't know if you can see it threading out of there. So once it comes out, there, it's loose. See, there it is. I just got to take the other one out, and the caliper's loose. And if you weren't doing your rotors, you could just stop right here, take it off, compress the piston, which I'm going to show you how to do, put the pads back in, and slap it back together, and you're good to go. But since this is old and it's sat for forever and it's got a lot of grooves in it, I'm going to replace them. And you could get them turned down, but I just feel better replacing them. So here we go. Alright, so I got the bottom caliper bolt out right out of the plastic thing, right right there. I'm going to take the top one out, and as you can see, they're clean. And then it allows me to take the caliper off, and it might be stuck a little bit, but you know, let me get my big old pry bar out here, and since I'm not saving anything, I can pry. I'm just trying to get it loosened up a little bit so I can see how it slides off. Well, maybe not. It just slides right off. Boom. So there you go. You have it sitting up there. One of the pads is not in. As you can tell, it was getting time right there. I'll compare it to the new ones. One of the other things is, see how far out the piston is? I like to use the old brake pad to compress the piston. So I'm going to do that. And I gotta go get a C-clamp, and then to take this off, there's two 18mm bolts, one there and one, oh, wait, where are they? Yeah, right there, and right there. And when you put them back on, I think they're 129 foot-pounds. So, and the caliper, the little bolts there are supposed to be like 21 or 29 foot-pounds, but I'm gonna have a hard time doing that since I don't have a socket. So, you know, have to use the old human torque wrench. So anyways, here we go. All right, so what I like to do, hopefully this is big enough. Yeah, it is. I'll get my C-clamp, run it from the back to the front, and then just compress this piston back into this. That way, when you go to put the new pads in, which don't have all this wear, and the new rotor, you have plenty of room for it to slide down in there. So there you go. That's how you compress that. I'm sure there's some other ways. I'm sure there's some specialty tool for that, but that's how I do it. It typically works fine. So there you go. All right, I have it compressed as far as it'll go. Then I take the old pad out, and if you see, it's held in place with this clip. That's important to know, so that you know that that's the side that goes to the back. There you go. All right, next step, I'm gonna hang that up just to get it out of the way and make sure it doesn't fall and pull on the brake line too much. And then we're gonna take off this caliper bracket so I can get the rotor off. So there we go. Next is to take the caliper bracket off. I could bust out the air compressor and make a lot of noise, but instead I'm just gonna use the old-fashioned way and try and muscle it. Well, yeah. Then again, maybe not. There we go. There's one. Try to muscle it again. Fuck. There we go. Alright, so there you go, the 18mm. Broke those suckers loose. Alright, get both of those off, and then this just comes right off, and that's how you remove your caliper bracket. And then you can just It's got a little rust on the hub, so, but should come right off. There you go, and it comes off. So there's the old one, and there's the hub. And now we just got to reverse that and put it back together. So let me turn you off. I'm going to get the new rotor out. So there's the new rotor on there. Nothing crazy, but you know, it's sealed in the bag. It's probably got some machining oil on it, so I squirt it down with brake cleaner and wipe it off with a rag just to get all the oil off of there. Let me go get that and do that. I got some brake cleaner. My good old Gunk brake cleaner. I'll put a link to that shit too, but as you can see, I just put it on liberally. And then I wipe it down with the old shop rag. And it evaporates pretty good too, so. And then I turn that sucker around. And then once I have that side on, spray it some more. Make sure I got her clean. No fingerprints or oils or anything like that on there. You can see how fast it dries. All right. And then we'll put that caliper bracket back on and we'll go from there. So hopefully you can see that and I'm not blocking it with my hand. I'm starting the bottom one, and then I'll get the top one and we'll tighten the sucker up. You know what I'm doing, I'm just tightening these up. And remember, these go to 129 foot-pounds, so I probably won't get out the torque wrench and torque it with you watching, but I will, trust me, before I put the wheel back on. So there we go. We got her on there, and it's pretty damn tight. Probably not 129 foot-pounds tight, but tight enough to continue on with the insulation. So I wanted to show you how much wear had occurred. So these are the used ones that I took out, and these are the new ones going in. But if you see how, well, that's maybe a 1/4 of an inch. The new one's got like a 1/2 inch or more, so that's why you have to compress that piston down. So next step is I'm going to put them in there. Remember that the clip goes in the back and it fits inside the piston. So you got to squeeze it in there and then it'll stay in there. And then the front ones go right here. So it fits there. Get my dikes and cut my handy dandy zip tie. Hopefully I compressed it as far as I could, so hopefully that's enough. Yep, there we go. So there you go. Then it sets in there. Hopefully you saw that. I got the pad in the front, I clipped the back pad in, and then I slide it down and in, and then I'm going to grease these 2 pins. I got some brake lubricant, which seems sort of crazy, but I'm going to put the lubricant just on these pins so that they can move back and forth. And I got to put that pin back in, that clip, to hold them in, and then we'll be done. So might have to use 2 hands, but it just goes right in there. And then I'm going to put the other one in the bottom, and then I'll tighten them up, and if I have any issues I'll let you know, but I want to do it now. Alright, I got them started in both of them. I'm just going to tighten them up. I'm not going to have you guys sit here and watch me tighten them up. I think it goes on that side to hold the pad in a correct place. Oh shit. And my battery's getting low, so I'm going to have to finish this up, but You put it in there, you put it down over this side, and then you I guess you dirty whore. Okay, let me get the screwdriver, but I'm gonna do that. But that's how it's got it. I got to have two hands, but let me do that, and then I'll come back and close. All right. How I ended up doing is I started them both, and then I used a screwdriver to pry it over the edge. So now it's tight. I just got to tighten the two back down, and that's all it takes to change the rotor and the pads on a 2013 Ford Focus. Probably is the same from 2011 to 2017 to 18. But there you have it. As you can see, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. It took me, I don't know, maybe a half an hour, because I was talking and trying to do it so you could see what I was doing. But you could probably knock out the whole thing in half an hour, 40 minutes if you really put your mind to it, or less if you're not dicking around. So just cover this back up. You need a number 7 Allen wrench. You need a big blade screwdriver. You need 18 millimeter and a big old C-clamp to compress the piston. But other than that, oh, and my handy dandy zip ties to make sure you don't stretch it out or harm the brake line. So anyways, hopefully this will help somebody and show you how easy it is to do these with just a few hand tools. As you notice, I didn't use a single air tool or electric power zipper offer. So you know, you can do it. You can do it in your driveway, and you can save whatever labor they charge you for it. So like I said, I got the pads and rotor for less than $100 with I had a coupon at Advanced Auto. So there you go. Oh yeah, one last thing. Once you get it all put back together, please read the instructions in your brake pads, because they have to be, you have to follow a particular procedure to bed in the brakes with the new rotors. So they made up. Usually it's, you know, you drive real hard and then you slam on the brakes about 5 or 6 times. It gets them both heated up and they bed together. So make sure you read your instructions, and you know, that'll help you, and make sure that you have a long life with these brakes. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helps, and if it does, please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.